They say that comparison is the thief of joy, and that could not be more true than when it comes to calisthenics. Calisthenics, it means beautiful strength, and it is an amazing sport, seeing what the human body is capable of. But it's also not just extremely humbling, but extremely dependent upon validation. And a lot of people talk about the fact that calisthenics has a big community, and oh, it does. But to have respect within that community, to truly be part of that community, a lot of your value is tied to the skills that you can do, the strength that you have. And without that, you struggle a lot more. You struggle to integrate a lot more. And for certain people, it's going to be easier if they have a sporty background, if they're a bit shorter, on the lighter side. Skills and stuff like that are going to be way easy for them. A sporty background is so huge when it comes to coordination. If you're like me, where you might not have been athletic when you were younger, you might not have been someone who's playing a lot of sports or had a lot of coordination from gymnastics or fencing, tennis, swimming, like even that can give you a big boost in terms of what you can achieve when it comes to calisthenics. But if you don't have that, man, it is so much harder to learn a lot of these skills. And sometimes there's a lot of merit and beauty in that, because you realize what it actually takes to get there. You don't get it with ease, and because it's not easy for you, it's more valuable for you. It means more when you can get the handstand, when you can get the front lever, when you can get the iron cross. It has more power to you, but at the same time, it is uphill to get a lot of these skills, especially if you're trying to balance it with other things. If you still want to train legs, you still want to be strong when it comes to the big lifts, man, it gets difficult. And of course it's possible, but you do have to accept that progress in all of these realms will be a bit slower. Your overall ceiling will be much higher than people who are specialists, but having generalist training where you're trying to combine powerlifting, calisthenics, running like I do, then of course you're going to make slower progress in each, but overall you're going to be so much more complete in terms of what you can do. But fighting the uphill battle to achieve a lot of these skills, to balance all of these, is brutal, man. Especially when you're not fully aligned to just being a calisthenics guy. Like, these skills take a lot more time, a lot more effort than you might expect. Especially if you lack that sporty background, especially if you're taller on the bigger side, you train legs, and by no means does this mean that you're not able to achieve these skills. But until you do, your value is considered as being less. There's so much of this focus on validation, as much as people want to try and avoid it. Like calisthenics reactions, like bro reacting to me doing muscle ups on the beach, clean muscle ups, people reacting to me doing full planche in the gym. There's a lot of this kind of content, there's a lot of this visual aspect of it, because it looks cool, it's amazing to show what the body can do in these forms, but man, it is difficult to a great extent, and if you're not willing to have the right kind of mindset when it comes to this, it can absolutely crush you. Because when it comes to other areas, like you see Larry Wheels, you see a lot of powerlifters, Julius Maddox doing crazy feats of strength like 300 plus kg bench press and insane numbers that we mere mortals couldn't even fathom doing ourselves. But at least you can bench press, right? Like, at least you can actually do the movement. But when it comes to calisthenics, it's like, if you can't handstand, you can't handstand, bro. Like, you can't even perform the skill that these other athletes are doing to crazy levels, weighted one-arm handstands and insane handstand push-up transitions and all sorts of stuff. There's this higher barrier to entry, which is why fewer people train calisthenics as opposed to other disciplines. Most people can't even get pull-ups and dips, and a lot of people even struggle with push-ups. Proper clean push-ups is something that a lot of people find difficult to achieve. And setting yourself on this path, especially if you don't have the natural advantages, is difficult. But man, is it rewarding? Man, do you cherish and appreciate to such a great extent what you're able to achieve? So remember, with calisthenics, let yourself be inspired, to let yourself see what is possible. Clean muscle-ups, weighted iron crosses, planche on fingers, and insane stuff that you see. But don't let your value be tied to it. Don't feel like you have to fit into this kind of community. I know there's a lot of pressure from many different angles to be one of these guys. He's one of the champions of calisthenics. They can teach others and you get so much validation for it. But you have to stick to your own path. You have to remember what calisthenics is, which is beautiful strength. You're doing this for yourself. You're doing this to realize what you're capable of. It is a shame for a man to grow old without seeing the beauty and strength of which his body is capable. That is what Socrates said, and calisthenics encapsulates that. Don't forget what it's about for you. And so, the best way to go about calisthenics in a tangible way, I find, is street lifting. Weighted pull-ups, weighted dips, squats, and eventually weighted muscle-ups as well. Now, of course, there's still a barrier to entry when it comes to this. You have to be at least intermediate to be able to think of adding weight to your pull-ups and your dips and stuff like that. But these movements are going to be the same. They're not going to be as different as progressions would be, like a frog stand versus a handstand versus a planche. There's a lot of difference when it comes to that. With pull-ups, assisted pull-ups, band-assisted pull-ups, pull-up negatives, all of these principles are going to apply to weighted stuff as well. And there's a very clear progression ladder. And the beautiful thing about street lifting, about weighted calisthenics, is it builds an incredible physique. It also gives you carryover strength to be able to begin a lot of progress in these other skills. If you get your weighted pull-ups strong enough, muscle-ups are going to be a breeze for you to achieve. Weighted dips help bench press. Bench press helps weighted dips. You achieve the foundations for true, genuine strength. So the 5 lifts that I believe are going to be the best way to judge your capacity, and the least depressing way, because you can actually do the movements, are going to be weighted dips, weighted pull-ups, squats, bench press, and deadlifts. Powerlifting and weighted calisthenics. There's no better way to get yourself as strong as humanly possible. So if you want to see that for yourself, to be on this beautiful journey of realizing what you're capable of in these 5 lifts, check out the link below, book a call, and let's get you stronger than you ever thought possible. And as always, remember bro, keep improving.